Welcome to Brian's Briefing, part of the Brian Nichols Show. I'm Brian Nichols, and in these focused episodes, I dive into key issues, ideas, and principles that shape our world. No frills, no fluff, just straight talk on matters that count. Now, let's get started. We're diving into Vice President Kamala Harris's latest plan to tackle food inflation, and let's just say it doesn't look good. So let's break down this Harris plan. The VP wants to reduce food inflation by essentially slapping price controls on groceries. Now, let's walk through what could happen if this actually were to go into effect. So first, the government tells grocery stores they can't raise prices, which to some folks, they would say, sounds great, right? Well, not so fast. These stores already run on razor-thin margins. We're talking like 1% to 2% here. So they're not exactly swimming in a boatload of cash. Second, they tell food producers, think your Kraft Heinz, Tyson Foods, that they can't raise prices either. But here's the thing, their costs for ingredients, for energy, and labor, they're not fixed. That means their profits are going to shrink, and very, very fast. Third, here's where things even get more messy. Stores in lower income areas, they're gonna start shutting down. Why? Because they sell more of the cheap packaged stuff, not the pricey, fresh goods. So they can't keep the lights on with these margins disappearing. Fourth, meanwhile, food producers are watching their profits disappear. They've got less cash to keep things running, let alone to make more food. Fifth, so what do grocery chain stores do? They start repurposing their stores to sell more non-price controlled items. So your local Kroger all of a sudden starts looking more like a Walmart, minus the cheap prices. Six, food producers, they start dropping low margin products. So now grocery chains start fighting over what's left, like more or less it's Black Friday, but for bread. 7, small grocery chains, they're done for. They can't cover costs, they can't get reliable deliveries, and they end up either shutting down or getting bought up by the big guys. 8, and those smaller food producers, the ones that give us a variety and keep the big guys honest, they're going to be the first ones to go under. 9, before you know it, we've got lines outside stores that make the Soviet bread queues look like a day more at Disney. Cities are sending cops to patrol store parking lots, and food trucks need armed escorts. 10, the government, realizing they made a mess, starts throwing money at the problem per usual. They are handing out block grants to states to buy and run closed grocery stores. 11, but wait, there's more. The government then decides to fix prices on all key food costs. So corn, wheat, cattle, energy, you name it. And 12, surprise, surprise, then the government struggles to run one of the most complex industries on the planet. The entire food supply chain starts falling apart. And 13, just like that, we have gone from a well-intentioned, of course, attempt to control food prices to, mass starvation and complete destruction of civilized society. Now, I know what you're thinking, Brian, surely you are exaggerating here. This possibly can't happen. And you know what? You're probably right. This is absolutely an extreme scenario, but here's the thing. It's not as far-fetched as you think. History has shown us time and again that when governments try to control prices, especially on something as vital and as complex as food, things tend to go sideways, and they go sideways fast. I mean, just ask Venezuela how their price controls worked out. So what's the lesson here? Well, for starters, maybe we should be a little more skeptical when politicians come up with very simple solutions to very complex problems. The economy, and especially the food industry, is a delicate ecosystem. So you just can't slap a Band-Aid on it and expect everything to be okay. So what's the fix? Well, instead of trying to control prices, how about we start to look at why food's getting so expensive in the first place? Here's a quick 5 ideas. First, let's cut some red tape so the little guys can compete. We set up obstacle courses for these small businesses, and then we wonder, why aren't they crossing the finish line? Second, deal with the labor shortages in agriculture and transportation, and that means we need to make these jobs much more attractive. Third, tackle inflation at its source, and that's by stopping the money printer. And I know it's tempting to think we can just print our way out of problems, but that's not how this works. 4, boost local food production. That means support your farmers markets, folks. It's like building your own little food security blanket there at home. And number 5, across the board, improve our infrastructure. That means stop spending our money overseas in foreign wars and start spending it here. Better roads, more efficient ports, and upgraded storage facilities that can help reduce food waste and lower transportation costs. Hey there, Brian Nichols Show listeners. I've got an exciting event to share with you today. It is the Expat Money Summit, which is the world's largest offshore event taking place online from October 7th to the 11th. Hosted by our friend Mikkel Thorup, who is a seasoned expat consultant, this summit is a must-attend for anyone looking to secure their liberty and wealth through international diversification. You're going to learn how to obtain a second passport, diversify your finances offshore, invest in international real estate, and gain valuable insights on geopolitics from renowned experts like Dr. Ron Paul, Doug Casey, and Tom Woods. Best of all, it's completely free to attend. Just head over to expatmoneysummit.com to reserve your complimentary ticket. Don't miss this opportunity to take control of your future. One more time, expatmoneysummit.com. And now, back to the show. All right, and we have a listener question today. This one comes from Aaron in New Mexico. Aaron asks, Brian, all this talk about food prices recently has got me thinking, what's your take on these big box stores that are pushing out local grocery stores? Aren't they partly to blame for our lack of options? And this is a great question, and definitely onto something here. These mega stores have buying power, and that makes small chains look tiny. So they can often offer lower prices because they buy in bulk and they have more efficient supply chains, which sounds great, but again, it's not this simple. Sure, we might save a few bucks in the short term, but we're losing something too. Local grocery stores often have deep roots in the community, and they're more likely to stock local produce and support local farmers. And when they get pushed out, we're losing that connection. And plus, when these big box stores are the only game in town, guess what? They can just pretty much set whatever prices they want, which we know is not great for competition or for consumers in the long run. So yeah, I would say they are definitely part of the problem, but here's the part we should focus on. We, at the end of the day, are, across the board, part of the solution. And every time we choose to shop local, we are voting, but with our dollars. And it might, yes, cost a little bit more, but think of it as an investment into your community's food security. Now let's recap our challenge of the week from last week. Last week, I asked you to check out your local grocery store prices, and you delivered. So I saw a few of you, Laura from New York, who else? We had Lauren. Yeah, Laura and Lauren. Lauren from Arizona. There we go, if my computer would load. You guys responded. I saw 15% your bill is up for your groceries, and 22%. I mean, and right there, guys, this is not a pinch. This is a full-on wallet punch. So please, if you are listening to the show and you want to go ahead and get your responses to your challenge of the week, email me, brian@briannicholsshow.com. Keep those conversations and observations going because they are definitely painting a real picture of what's actually going on out there versus what the corporate media says. It's the best economy ever. Okay. And for this week's challenge, where I want you to go ahead and look into some local farming initiatives in your area. So are there community gardens? Are there farmers markets? And let's start really thinking about how we can support local food production and reduce our reliance on big chain stores. And remember, folks, there are no easy answers here. That's obvious. But that does not mean that we should accept bad solutions just because they sound good in a soundbite. So we need to really think critically and look at the potential consequences and demand better of our leaders, like elephant in the room, Kamala Harris. You are the VP right now. And you can do something, but you're not. Anyways, Now, I know I've covered a lot of ground today, and a lot of this might sound doom and gloom. We talked about the potential end of civilization as we know it, but here's the thing. Knowledge is power, and in this case, understanding the potential consequences of these policies is the first step in preventing them from happening. And let's not forget, we faced challenges before. America has a long history of innovation and problem solving. I mean, we put a man on the moon, for crying out loud. Did we? Well, surely we can figure out how to keep our grocery stores stocked without turning it into a communist dictatorship. The key, as we say here in the show, is to educate, enlighten, and inform. And in this case, stay skeptical. Ask questions. When politicians promise simple solutions to very complex problems, then that's when your BS detectors should really start beeping. So what can you do? Well, for starters, keep doing what you're doing. Listening to shows like The Brian Nichols Show, ask questions, and of course, think critically. Share what you learn with your friends and family, and have conversations about these issues. And as election season is rolling around, remember these discussions. And remember to vote for leaders who understand the complexity of these issues and offer real, thoughtful solutions, not just catchy slogans and quick fixes. And while you're at it, go plant your own garden. You know, just in case. It's like a fun weekend project that might save you from having to fight over the last can of beans in the post-apocalyptic wasteland. Think of when COVID hit and it was the toilet paper mad dash. Yeah, it's a win-win if you ask me. So before we wrap up, I do want to thank you all for tuning in and engaging in these important issues. Your questions, your insights, your grocery store reconnaissance, it all helps build a clear picture of what's going on out there. So if you want to stay in touch with me, email me, Brian, at briannicholsshow.com. This has been a special edition of Brian's Briefing, part of the Brian Nichols Show, reminding you to think critically, question everything, and never stop pushing for real solutions. We'll see you next time here on the Brian Nichols Show. And hey, maybe stock up on some non-perishables just in case, for research purposes. With that, we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for listening to The Brian Nichols Show. Find more episodes at briannicholsshow.com.